Hello and welcome to this tutorial from MLS Designs, which demonstrates how to use the page builder within your content management system. So the first thing we're going to do is just log into our control panel and go to the pages. It works on pages or posts, so I'm going to demonstrate this on the pages section. So I'm going to go to all pages. So if you've got blog posts, this is exactly the same process. Here we've got the page builder page, so I'm just going to edit that. And what you'll notice on a post or a page, by default the page builder is disabled, so we just need to click this button here to enable the page builder. In doing that, you'll get access to a few more options underneath. What we have is elements. Now there's a lot here. What I'd encourage you to do is experiment with these with posts in draft mode so you can see the different options that you've got. But for this demonstration and for your blog posts, we're going to concentrate on the text block and image. The next part along here is the layout. So this allows you to add columns, gives you more flexibility over where you want elements to be on the page. I'll show you that in just a moment. And custom templates, this is once you set a specific template you can actually save that to use on future posts if you wish to. There are also some pre-built pages, but these are probably not going to suit your specific needs because they're quite generic. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a few different templates so you can get a view of how this page builder system works. So if we go to the elements and we'll put in a text block, so what you can see is you have a text block across the full width of the page, and we know it's a full width because here it's saying 1:1. What this allows you to do is actually resize the elements quite considerably, so from a full 100% width all the way down to a sixth of the page width, and you can increase that as well. So it might be that you want to have some text at the top, full width, so if we edit that we'll put some text in there, and it might be underneath that if we just pop another text block in. Let's say for instance you then want 3 columns of text, so I'm going to reduce this down to 1/3, edit this, and the easiest way to replicate this I find is here next to the edit button we've got the duplicate, so we can just duplicate that and it will just put 2 more there in a third view as well. So if we update that, I'm just going to have a look what it looks like at the front end. Pretty straightforward. So we can see now, as it was set up in the back end there in the control panel, we've got one set of text at full width and then 3 columns. So if we just go back, if I want to clear everything on this page, I can do that just by choosing the clear all content. It'll ask me to double check yes, and then we're back to the page builder. So let's now look at how we put some images in. There's a couple of options when we're putting images in. But again, we'll start off with a text block at the top, full width, and let's say underneath that we want 3 images, so we'll select image. Again, you'll notice the default is to go full screen, and most of the time you're not going to want that because what you'll end up having is just one massive image on the page, which is not very useful. So again, we'll reduce this down to 1/3 of its size, and we'll select an image. I'm going to just add one from earlier, our MLS Designs logo. Now on here you've got further options. Image size, always keep that at full, otherwise what's going to happen is if you put it to thumbnail, it'll still be 1/3 of your page, but it'll just resample it to being a tiny image and it'll look all fuzzy and it won't work, so keep that at full. If you want to put a frame around it, we can do, so we'll select a border frame, don't have to do that. If you want the image to be animated when the page loads, so for example a fade in, we can do that. And if you want the image to be clickable, you can choose yes to the light box, but most of the time I find it's better just to keep that disabled. Once you're happy with your settings, you can save that, and again I'm just going to duplicate this so you can see that we've got 3 images in a row. I'm also then going to put a bit more text underneath in 2 different columns. So if I just duplicate that, what this actually allows you to do, you'll notice when my cursor goes on the title bar it changes to a little hand. This is because it allows you to drag and drop elements around. So I want to put these 3 images in between the 2 blocks of text, so I can just simply drag the text down, drag it and drop, and then let go, and that is now underneath. And I think I said I wanted to split this into 2 columns, so I'm just going to reduce this to half and duplicate that. So now we can see roughly the layout that we'll get at the front end. If we click update, and we'll go and take a look at what that looks like front end. So there we go. A block of text at the top, my 3 images which I chose a border around, and then my 2 columns of text underneath. So we'll just go back to the editor again, clear this content. Now it might be that you want to wrap an image around some text, so we'll show you how to do that. First thing we need to do is create our text block. So if we just leave that as it is, you'll see it's very basic text block on the page. There we go, no images. But if we want to put an image, let's say, wrapped around the left corner, what we need to do is just put our cursor where we would like the image to go, use the Add Media button, select our image, and then you've got some options on the side here. So do you want this to be centered, left aligned, right aligned? So I'm going to keep that at left. I don't want the image to be clickable, so I'm going to select the link to none, but I do want it full size, so I'm going to select that there, and then we can insert that in. And you can see now it's wrapped that image around. My image is actually quite wide with these gaps either side, so that's why we've got those gaps there. If we just save that, update, and we'll take a look at that front end, and there we go, we've got this wrapped around. Now if we add some more text, you'll see how it wraps around fully. So if I just say add a bit more text, just to demonstrate how text can wrap around your images, and refresh this, there we go, this is how we can add images within the copy. So we can do that on the left aligned, we can do that in the center or right aligned. So I'm just going to clear this down, and I've got one more thing to show you here, which gives you a bit more flexibility over your layout. Now we've already looked at how we can put different text blocks and images in. If we just put these back in again, so we could say we'll have a full text block, half size image and half size text, like this, and we've seen how we can drag and drop elements around the page like that. But it might be that you need a little bit more flexibility, so we can also utilize layouts. Now this is where we can, for instance, put in a half column, 2 half columns, a third column, 3 third columns, etc. And I'll just show you why this is useful depending on how you want to use this. So these use the same functionality in terms of drag, drop, and make this larger, smaller, this column, but rather than this being text, this is an area that allows you to add any of those elements in. So if we click Add Content Element, we can then add into that column a text block. There we go. And it might be that the reason you want to do this is because you want to have something along the lines of let's do 2 columns for an example. It might be that you want to have 3 in a row on the left hand side here, 3 blocks of text underneath each other, but only 1 block of text on the right. If we have a look at what that looks like, There we go, and it gives you this ability to separate into two columns and independently control what's in those two columns, rather than being stuck between having to have elements next to each other. If we try and do that with text blocks, like this, although it looks the same, when we try and put the third one under here, the system wants it to snap to grid because it knows it's half, this one's half, so it wants to put it over here rather than where you might want it down here. So that's when columns can be more helpful, more useful to allow you to manipulate your layout. And that's Page Builder. Hopefully that's helped. As ever, if you need any particular support, please do get in touch. Thanks very much. Goodbye.